Coach Andy with Louisiana Gridiron Football. I'm joined here with the head football coach for the Crescent City Kings, Coach Fred Washington. Thanks for joining me, Coach.
How you doing, Jim?
Coach, talk about your preseason. How's it going so far?
Preseason is going, pretty at preseason, man. Guys out there fighting for a starting job, trying to make the squad, trying to build a championship or a team, make a run.
Okay. How's your vets and rookies interacting together?
Competing. Some of the young guys pushing some of them, our vets, they're responding like they should to try to secure their spots on the team. And so far, competition is in full force.
What's your expectations for 2017?
The expectation is always national title. That's all the Kings is about. We're not trying to play second fiddle to anyone. We're trying to compete for a national title year in and year out, even though we got knocked out the playoffs by the defending champ. That's last year. That's what we're all about. Winning championships and trying to put young men in bigger and better places.
Coach, speaking of national, that game, we were there. It was very emotional for both of us.
Right.
Coach, you want to talk about how you're going to overcome that situation and what you're going to do going forward?
Well, how you overcome that is by having a season that was better than the season that we're coming from. Last year, losing in the fashion that we did to Oklahoma, has a lot of the players that played, or the veterans that played last year, coming back. They came back early. Business, they're business minded about trying to win the national championship and compete.
Coach, you talk about guys coming out early. I know some of your guys have been working since October out here.
Correct, since October. Thank you, Oklahoma. And one thing about losing to an organization such as Oklahoma, you want to not mimic them, but at least be on a level for the compete. So you learn everything from a loss. And one thing that we did learn from that loss against Oklahoma is that, we took a step back, now we have to take 3 steps forward. So.
Speaking of 3 steps forward, do you have some upcoming prospects you want to talk about?
Yeah, we have one running back that's, our stable was already full, but we done added another guy, and Stewart he's pushing. He's pushing his. Right now, he's probably number 3 on the depth chart.
Coach, I was sitting interviewing him just a little bit ago, and he's bragging about a 4.48 40.
Right.
Coach, is that true?
It's about that.
He's that fast?
He's that fast. He's in the high.
That's NFL speed, Coach.
Yeah. High 4.4, low 4.5s.
Okay.
We clocked him. He was a 4.91. A 4.49, I'm sorry.
4.91? Wow.
Yeah. He was, he can move.
Yeah, that's NFL, CFL speed, Coach.
Correct.
That's faster than Leonard Fournette ran in the combine this year.
Yeah. Him and Java Bush, they both, both of them in the 4.4 speed, but that's a real race we got going on. Real strong in the backfield.
That's going to make it hard for a lot of players, a lot of teams to keep up with you. This Java last year, when you won 70-0 against the Mississippi Brawlers, Java had 370 yards rushing, which is 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and surprisingly to me, at the end of the season, he rushed for over 700 yards and just played in the last 4 games. I take that back, the last 5 games. So he missed 3 games and still almost hit 1,000. So
that's gonna make a lot of competition for this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Okay. How's your quarterback situation right now?
Excuse me?
How's your quarterback situation?
Quarterback. But we have a good battle there between Felix. We have a new guy that has came in, Jeremy, and Golf. Golf is a veteran, and Felix is a veteran. Jeremy just coming in first time. We have a nice battle there, but as of right now, it looked like Felix is the front runner.
Well, one thing I do want to mention about minor league football in Louisiana is that guys have the opportunity to go to the NFL, such as Devin Breaux, who you actually coached against, and what, 4 years ago now?
Right about that 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago. Devin Breaux is now the starting corner for the Saints. You last year put 2 guys in CFL camps as of right now.
Right.
How is that helping you going forward?
Our credibility as an organization and also as the league, showing that we have talent in this league and also organizations that's being ran to the degree to help young men move forward with their career.
There's there's a lot of semi-pro teams here in the area, and I don't want to talk bad about any particular team, but a lot of people say or have a claim that they put guys in the pro leagues, but you actually have the paperwork and the guys actually going pro. Coach, what are you doing different that those other teams aren't doing?
Well, I think the person who probably has to answer that is the scouts and who we communicate with, because they're impressed with what the Kings is putting forward to compete, to go into these camps and go into training camp and the workouts. And a lot of the scouts have been impressed with our players as far as their technique, their conditioning, not just physically, but also mentally. Because one thing about coming to the Kings, we try to turn around and prepare them mentally and physically for that task of trying to compete for money. Because competing for money is a whole different beast than competing in high school and college. So, we up here compete against young men who are already in the league, who are already receiving some type of stipend to be in the organization, excuse me. And that taking place, we have to, teach them how to compete on that level for these type of conditions.
So what you're saying is that here with minor league football, these guys play for free. And so if they're willing to give everything they got for free, the scouts are going to be able to come in here and say, what would they do for money?
Right. See, one thing that we try to instill in our players, competing from poke ball to high school and almost to college, depending on the program you go to, it's not too far. It's not. But when you turn around trying to compete for a living, we're talking about something that no one could just tell you that. You have to be trained for that. That's why you see the big schools, why they players prosper in the NFL or the CFL, because playing at a Tulane and a LSU or Alabama, so on and so forth, you are taught 4 years or 3 years that you're there how to compete against high talent, how to conduct yourself, high talent. Because the only thing money would do for a person who's out of control is just cause more havoc. So what we do is that when a scout comes and talks to us about a particular player, first we're honest about it. We let him know about his faults just as well as his goods. And we try to correct his faults, because that's what he's here for. Give the scout something to work with, instead of giving him something that he can't work with, mentally and physically.
So what you're saying, this is like last chance you here.
Last chance you. That's definitely what it is. If you have completed or dropped out of college, there's nothing else outside the NFL, CFL, and arena football. But the Kings give you the platform to prove to 3 major paying leagues that you could compete and make a team. That's what the Kings is about. That's what we're looking for. All our talent that we try to draw, the young men that we try to teach, we're trying to teach you that you can make it, how to make it. I can't tell you how long you're going to be there. All that's up to you. So what we do is...
So you're looking for somebody hungry.
Hungry. It's not a cakewalk. This is, you have to have time, patience, and you have to be humble to go through this process, and you're trying to go from the Crescent City Kings to the AFL, the CFL, and then most likely the NFL. You know, so that's the journey.
Coach, I've coached a couple of CFL camps, and I've noticed that your team's the only semi-pro team that actually puts guys in those camps. I was at the Lucini camp this last year, and the Kings were the only semi-pro team in the Lucini camp. And that's a major CFL camp, AFL camp, where all the CFL teams, all the AFL teams show up to. You want to talk a little bit about that? How you guys are always invited, how you're the only team invited?
First, the Lucini camp. Everybody with something to do with. Thank you. I do appreciate everything that they have taught us. That's one of the programs or the scouts that sit there. We went to the seminar a couple of years ago, and we learn how to evaluate talent. So from being invited from the very first time, learning, it was a learning process that we turn around and transform over to our organization. And it pays big dividends because the majority of the time that scouts keep up with our organization via Facebook, YouTube, or even calling us. You know, because we film the majority of our games. So they have some type of body of work. That's first. Second, we're not semi-pro. We're a developmental organization. And the reason why we say that, because of what we are first, we develop in some aspect. If you come to the King, by the time you leave, you are better than what you were when you arrived, in some aspects, athletically and mentally.
That's well said, Coach. Developmental, because that's what you guys do.
Right. We're not semi-pro.
Somebody like Jonah Austin, who was at Nicholls State, LSU. Now he's been invited to the CFL after a year playing for you. Torrey Stewart, another one, but now playing for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, played for you last year. So developmental is a very good way to put in this team.
Correct. And developing each player is a unique technique, because we're dealing with different individuals, different attitudes, different background, the whole thing. So we have to teach them what is in their best interest if this is something that they want to do. You know, so we didn't have players come to us who legitimately had 9 to 5s, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. And if you want to compete against a gentleman who's making money for a living, I mean, as a professional athlete, you have to meet him on this platform. You can't say, well, I got 2 jobs. You don't have to lose a job. Because it's your journey, it's not mine. And it's not anyone else. It's a canoe. There's a one-person ride down that river or up that river for success. I'm sorry. That's why I tell my players when they first come aboard. This is your canoe ride. And that's what you ride through the river of the Kings. This is your channel right now. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Put the most that you could into this here. Give it a shot. If it work out for you, great. If it don't work out for you, then you put forward a great effort.
Coach, last thing. Your first game this coming Saturday? You're playing it where?
Well, we're playing at Victory Field, our home field, Joe Brown Stadium out in New Orleans East, 7:30. And we're playing North Louisiana,
Mississippi.
North Mississippi.
Mississippi, okay.
Excuse me.
And how can somebody go about getting tickets?
They can pay at the gate, a player, or they start to sell tickets Tuesday. It'll start being available.
Okay. How much are tickets, Coach?
$10 for adults. Everyone under 13 is free.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Coach. Shout out to the Kings. If you ain't seen the Kings yet, come check them out on Saturday. Thank you for joining me, Coach.
All right.